Hello everyone, this is the latest group of figures I got painted up for my Culloden project, and these are Crann figures again and government infantry, and I've painted them up as the 3rd Regiment, East Kent Regiment, or the Buffs as they were known. Yeah, really sort of pleased with the way they've turned out again. They're in firing position, and the basing I've started with is for black powder, so 40mm square bases with 4 figures to a base. Now, when they're in the firing position, what that means is if you put them in 2 ranks, then it looks a bit odd, because the rear ranks muskets seem to be discharging into the side of the face and the ears of the front rank. So I've put them all in one rank, which makes them look a little bit crowded maybe. It's not too bad, but I think they are a little bit tightly packed together to be realistic. And also it does have the advantage that because the rifles and with the bayonets are quite long, that you end up with, if you put them near the back, you don't have the rifles projecting forward over the base, so that worked out quite well. So I'll just zoom in a little bit so you can see them a little bit more clearly. Go to focus. There we go. So the Buffs weren't a Royal Regiment, so they have red trousers. They are a badged regiment though, so the Grenadiers have a badge on their mitres. Now, for simplicity's sake, most ranges, and Crann included, just have the GR, George Rex motif on the front of their Grenadiers mitres, and that's the same as in this case. So I've had to sort of, I haven't been very careful about it anyway, but I've just put a sort of green splodge mainly to represent the badge, which was a green dragon with a white tongue. But I had I suppose I could have filed off the GR, but it's a bit too much of a hassle. I wouldn't have been able to paint the dragon that well anyway. So from a distance it looks alright, but you get too close and it looks pretty horrible. And the white trim as well had a similar kind of issue as with the King's Own, that there's a sort of pattern in it which is way too fine a detail to be able to paint, but at the same time, if you don't attempt something, then the white lace doesn't look right either. So with the Buffs, it was actually a straight yellow line alongside a red chain. So once again, I've used transparent paint just to give the faintest impression of colour there, and done a very kind of rough job of representing the actual trim. Flags, I'm decided for the next batch of figures that I paint, I'm going to do the flags differently. They're from Flags of War. I'm really pleased with the flags, but I always get nervous about gluing the flags onto the flagstaffs, because you only get the one chance. And with the King's Own, I messed it up in that there's always a white edge left, and I tried to sort of colour that, and that ran and messed the flags up a little bit, so I didn't bother to do that with these. But I had real difficulty. What I do is I put them on right at the end after I varnish the figures, because I've noticed in the past that the varnish itself can sometimes cloud the flags, but I'm not going to do that again. I think what I'll do is attach the flags to the flagstaff separately, and then try and glue them to the hands after I've finished everything else, varnishing and basing and so on. So do it right at the end, because they were a real hassle to wrap round the flagstaffs and then glue together so that they married up without too much white showing. I even managed to break one of the tassels off at one point and had to glue that back on. But kind of got there in the end. It's not too bad, and they, as I say, they don't look bad from a distance. So that is those, and already got another regiment primed up and ready to start painting. So I'll get going with those soon. But I've gone back to my old habit of having about 4 things on my workbench and rotating through them, just because I've got so many interests and distractions at the moment that at least it keeps a few things going at a time. That's it then. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Bye for now.